So I truly see that Iran's position at the current moment is more for a compromise with the US than for confrontation. I don't see that Iran is as strong as it used to be a year earlier, before October 7, for example.
Yeah, the whole conversation about the axis of resistance, I mean, there's different ways you can look at it. I'm just looking from pure realist, great power politics. The fact that Iran did something unprecedented twice in the last 12 months, which is fire massive missile salvos against Israel, which it was almost like a unheard of possibility, and then have almost no retaliation coming back at them twice. That tells you something, is that Israel doesn't have the capability to retaliate, or the price that the U.S. would pay if they did would be too great. Why this is important is because with the Abraham Accords, or normalization, what the U.S. is attempting to do with this normalization deal, or the security pact that the U.S. was trying to get Saudi Arabia to come on board with, the quid pro quo was that they would normalize relations with Israel. But after the genocide in Gaza, this a no-go. Now MBS is basically adding a spanner in the works, saying, well, we want to see steps to Palestinian statehood. Well, Israel has already categorically ruled out, oh, we agree with it in principle, but we won't put a date on it. So they've been doing that for 30 years. So Saudi Arabia knows that. So no, we want to see, MBS is basically saying, we want to see some concrete steps. Now the U.S. is pulling back. They're saying, well, we can't do this full security pact with Saudi, but maybe a light version, which will be like, drills, military drills, and buy weapons. The drills are just to test the U.S. weapons. It's part of the sales process. So the U.S. saying, we'll protect you if you get attacked. This is just the same old NATO protection racket. You buy our weapons, we'll sign a pact, we'll agree to protect you. Who would they protect Saudi Arabia from? It's supposed to be Iran. So the whole strategy from the U.S. is to antagonize Iran, to create instability in the region, to make Saudi Arabia feel insecure, and the UAE, and then back them by the same token, and then to create the situation against Yemen, which totally was, I think, personally, I didn't see any strategic value in that for Saudi Arabia. And so the U.S. is relying on Saudi Arabia as one of their main local partners so that they can execute a foreign policy of offshore balancing, which they've been trying to do for the last 20 years after Iraq, which is to rely on local partners, including Israel, to police the region and to do their bidding for the Anglo-American empire. The whole situation is coming apart. The U.S. wants to turn the clock back in the region 50 years. They want to bring it back to 1980.